Oh, big time. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
this is not for me. But then I went and basically paid to get some tutoring, and I got A's the following year. What that cemented into me was that I wasn't incapable. I just hadn't been given the type of learning that worked with me.
Yeah, happens to a lot of people.
You know, I'm here because I want to change the world ultimately. Like, that is where the passion and drive comes from, is I want to make a positive impact. And if that's through getting more women into engineering, or it's through changing the system that allows more women to come into engineering, because I don't think it's just as easy as saying more girls come into STEM, because actually the reason that they're not in there is exactly the reason that I didn't stay working on construction sites. All the complex issues that we have in the world right now are not a result of technology or physical barriers. They're all human behavioural. So we need more engineers that can come, that have that understanding and abilities to solve complex behavioural changes that are needed. And while technical skills are so important in engineering, I think that we're going to see a real rise of amazing, great communicators that are needed for the profession.
Hi and welcome to the Engineering Talent Podcast, powered by Equal Engineers, where we celebrate the people and organisations shaping a safer and more inclusive engineering world. Each episode, we shine a light on the inspiring engineers and employers who are redefining what it means to build, lead and innovate. Because when we make safety and inclusion inseparable, we can unlock the true potential of engineering talent. This is the Engineering Talent Podcast. Hello and welcome to the Engineering Talent Podcast, powered by Equal Engineers. I'm your host, Fayon Dixon, and my guest today was told by her teachers that engineering wasn't for her. She nearly studied art. She battled her mental health through school, and yet she still has been named one of the Royal Academy's Engineering Young Engineers of the Year. She's proof that the best engineers aren't always the ones who fitted the mould. They're the ones who broke it. Please welcome Brogan MacDonald. Hey!
Hey, that's the best intro ever.
Come on. Now,
Yes.
If you see my little maracas, it's because I hear something that I like. So we're off early.
Yes.
Now we are, I don't know, a few years away from when we first met.
I was actually looking at my emails. We have emails from when I was a graduate engineer.
I love it. I love it so much. So didn't we do something through lockdown, first of all?
I think we did. I think we had a podcast then, and then we spoke together at an Equal Engineers event. Which was in the most incredible venue under Gaia. Which was super cool.
It was like a TEDx style. It was powered by Change, New Leaders of Sustainability or something like that. And there was 4 of you, and you all had like a different area in engineering. And we were under the wonderful new exhibit at the time, Gaia. Gosh, that was years ago. But haven't you come a long way since then?
Oh, well.
You have. I was saying, I saw you on that podcast, City Makers, and you were like, which one now? Because you've done so many.
Well, it was one. I was actually at a conference in Venice for that, and they were like, "Oh, do you want to just do this little recording?" And I thought, "Yeah, sure." I was knackered after like 3 days and just, running on caffeine. You can tell I'm running on caffeine. I just watched the recording, but that was in November last year, and it's July. I forgot it happened. I thought I just didn't like it.
Oh my goodness! Well, I'm just honoured to have known you since you were a wee graduate, and you have just. I'm not going to do that again, I promise. Let's just go back to and get this bit out of the way. Where teachers told you, it probably wasn't right for you, engineering, and yet you are winning. You're winning the Royal Academy of Engineers a Sir George MacFarlane Medal. I mean, what kept you going when people who should have believed in you didn't?
I think it, I mean, what if are you like this too when someone says you can't do something? It gives you like fuel to say, well, maybe I can.
Mm,
There was a bit of that. There was a little bit of that. But I've always been someone since a very young age that doesn't quite like status quo. And has always kind of, I wouldn't say fought the system because I wouldn't say I'm a fighter, but
mm.
has challenged the system. Even from when I was 9 years old, I turned vegetarian well before I kind of realized what I was actually doing.
Right.
But it's just because, I liked animals, didn't like the taste of meat. And I was like, that seems like the right thing to do.
Yeah,
So when teacher said, well, I'll give you the background of why teacher said that.
please, please.
Because I think that's important to the context.
Yeah.
I moved quite a bit when I was a child, and when you move schools and things, you kind of miss out on different things in curriculums, and it's quite hard to catch up.
Mm,
I wouldn't say like maths and science were ever my strongest subject. If anything, I would say it was the opposite. It was like English, art, creative subjects. I liked French. Anyway, so maths
same.
and science weren't necessarily my thing. And when you don't have that natural gravitas, let's say, to a
Mm,
subject, it can feel more challenging. I felt when I moved that I lost that consistency.
right.
So that when it come to doing my exams, I didn't do super well.
Mm,
And so my results were mediocre. I
yeah.
think when it comes to A level, I did higher. So I studied in Scotland. It's basically like an A level. I got a C in maths. And
Better than I did.
and that wasn't enough to get into university for quite a few courses. And then
Right.
I actually didn't even get through to studying physics because I had failed the test you have to do before you sit the exam because I was really struggling with my mental health at the time.
Right.
And so the teachers just went, we're just going to take you out of physics. You're not allowed to do physics now. Just drop that. I really remember having no say in that. But also at the time, beggars can't be choosers. I was in a really rough period of my life. So I thought,
Sure.
okay, I'll do what's needed. And I said, well, I think I want to be an engineer. And it was just like, he's kind of like, I don't think that sounds like a good idea. I don't think you should do that.
Mm,
I don't think you can do that. And there's kind of two ways to explore what he said. He kind of said it in a, let's try and find something that isn't going to push you when you're already
mm,
a struggling teenager. And then there's the kind of, we're just going to limit it. And so when you take that literally, I had career advice and I had teachers saying, don't think this is for you. But I did have a maths teacher that kind of believed in me and mentored me and tutored me. And that was the key thing. I eventually got into uni through medicals and doing an open university course, woohoo, Maraca, um, an open university course because I didn't have any science A levels basically. So that open university course got me into university to study structural engineering. But then I was like, whoa, this is hard. So I got some mentoring. My first module, so you study a generic maths module with all the other engineering students, chemical, mechanical, all sorts. You have to do that for 2 or 3 years. My first exam results were D's. And I was
Did you
like,
feel
ooh,
exposed in any way? Did you feel a bit of an imposter in any way at all?
oh, big time. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
this is not for me. But then I,
Mm,
I went and basically paid to get some tutoring and I got A's the following year. And
good.
what that cemented into me was that I wasn't incapable. I just hadn't been given the type of learning that worked with me.
Yeah, yeah. Happens to a lot of people. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I hope that that's proof in the pudding to younger people that if they have
Mm,
that career aspiration, they're told they don't necessarily have the kind of relevant skills or expertise or
mm.
qualifications, it can be done. It just needs to be approached in a different way.
Absolutely. I call it the cat flap. If you can't go through the front door, go through the cat flap. There's always another way round. And I was told something similar, but when I was about 13 and, after parents divorced and it was hard and da 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 da, and I could have been a bit more focused, but I was just told blank, no. No, I don't think you're intelligent enough to be a journalist, which is what I wanted to do. And, like you, prove people wrong. I got into broadcasting and did all sorts of wonderful things. So,
Oh, you're the best.
and I went into schools and delivered motivational workshops about creative learning techniques and telling young people, if you want it, you will be told you can't do it, but deep down, if you keep going, you will get there. So you are inspiring the next generation in your own way on TikTok. Your platform is awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it was I have to admit I'm not on it as much now, and I was just
Busy.
reflect not just the busyness, that is for sure something. I also a yoga teacher as well. So that keeps
Yes.
me busy.
Yes, you are.
But it's just about the presence of being online. How much time we're spending on the phones and the algorithm pulling us in.
Mm,
So I guess there's element of me just being conscious about creating and consuming.
good for
But
you.
I created that TikTok for the reason that I didn't have STEM engagement in school. I didn't go to a posh school that offered that, and literally came across engineering from like I think a bite-sized web page or something. Do you know, like
Mm,
something so simple and accessible?
yeah.
So I wanted to create something that was accessible to that audience that I couldn't necessarily always go out and see. And you'll know yourself, going out into schools, it can be a hit or miss. Whether they're engaged, whether they're interested.
Yeah.
Um, and you can speak to one person in that room and that might change their life.
That's what
But
I used to say. If I could only encourage one person, there might be 1,000 in the room, but if it's only one, then I'll take it. As long as you
yeah,
change someone's life.
right. But I thought, what's a way that I could reach people more? So for me, it was a no-brainer. I want to try and get into 13 to 16-year-old girls. They
Mm,
spend a lot of time on TikTok.
yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
So that's why I created it. And at the time when I started it, I was working on a construction site as an engineer. And I actually, a lot of people were quite interested in that. What's it like to work as an engineer on site? So I did behind the
Yeah,
scenes stuff. That
brilliant.
evolved. I went to work in Singapore. So then they got to see content of what it's like to be an expat working in Singapore as an engineer. And then since I've come back into the UK doing this leadership role I'm in now, I've kind of struggled to know where I
Mm,
sit with it as much.
hmm
And now I'm
hmm
not doing day-to-day engineering and I do a lot more strategy and stuff like that. So
Yeah, yeah. You are all about sustainability. You're ahead of sustainability in building structures at Ramboll. And, you are driving embodied carbon reduction, circular economy, and biodiversity across a 150-person team. Look at me now, you could be saying. But, what's the mindset shift the construction industry needs to still make to get those, women into engineering?
I mean, it's when you. I think there's two things here. There's the engineering that is on site working in construction projects. Then the engineering that is designing and actually uses loads of artistic abilities, and that I think is such an undersold opportunity and profession for young
Mm,
people. How much creativity comes into problem solving, particularly now with this huge AI transformation we're waiting to go through.
mm,
The value of human judgment, collaboration, innovation, and trusted advisory roles will become so much more important as people will move to AI. But what will happen is they'll lose faith in it. It will be commoditized, and they'll want to come back to
mm.
human interactions again. So I think that element of engineering is a really undersold profession to young girls.
Yeah, yeah. Please, let's keep driving that, because
Yeah,
there is this worry that, oh, we're all going to be obsolete. We're not going to be needed. And I
I don't believe
believe,
that at all.
I don't either. The human being, the power of the human, the power of our communication. AI can't do it. AI is good for a lot of things, but we
Mm,
need that. We really
yeah.
do. And you've said yourself that the future of engineering depends on how much empathy and curiosity and resilience that there is out there. I mean, that's us as humans all over. So, how do you embed that belief into how you lead and develop talent?
I think it's about creating what you call psychological safety, but trust and autonomy. It's the way that I have been mentored throughout my career, which truly I'm grateful for, because I think has led to these opportunities coming for me, but also giving me the leadership qualities from a very young point in my career.
Mhm.
And that's all about I had my first boss who was basically like chuck in the deep end if you want. You know, it was always like, do you want to do it? And I would be like, yeah, let's give it a try. Loads of opportunity of ownership, autonomy. Give me space to fail. I think that's
Ah.
really important. We need to give people space to fail.
Oh, come on. Yes, you do. Yeah.
Obviously, you need to judge what's an acceptable thing to go fail on. You know, you kind of go, right, this might not go to plan, but that's okay. And he gave me that loads. And then sometimes I'd come out of meetings crying, but he would help me. He'd help me fix it. You know, he'd be there to support. And that is 100% the qualities that I want to take to young talent is
Mm,
giving them opportunity to go try new things and thrive and work out
mm.
what they want to do and give them that space to fail.
Dear. Especially when you're younger, I will say this. Because it's so new to you, the working world, and you're seeing people older than you or with more experience than you. And I'm saying this from a point of view from my eldest stepdaughter, who has stepped into a role that is maybe 4 or 5 years higher than where she should be, but she can do it. But she's so afraid of failing because she's on this trajectory. She's doing so well. And I've been telling her since she was a little girl, since she was 8, you are going to fail, but you are going to bounce back. But you can't let it be the thing that stops you from breathing and just relaxing into it, because otherwise you will be held back. And, her well being and her authenticity, her authenticity is her power. It really and truly is. And I know you know this yourself because you've been through your own mental health issues during your GCSEs. And there's a lot of people, young people especially, really struggling with their mental health, not feeling good enough, feeling anxious. I mean, what are we going to do for them to support them? Because they are the leaders of engineering of the future. So, how important is it for these leaders in engineering to be vulnerable? And what impact does it have on the people around them when they are that way?
Yeah, I mean, I again have adopted vulnerability in the same way that I've observed it from leaders I admire. So our old managing director at Ramble, Philippa Spence, has been really vulnerable in sharing elements about her family life, or to the point that a colleague told me that she shared her like chicken curry recipe with all the directors on a call once because she was just saying how phenomenal it is. And that's the type of leader where you just go,
Yeah.
you're not uptight to ask them something. She still maintains such credibility and is such a knowledgeable, strong leader that you trust to make good decisions.
Yeah.
But she's also someone that you could have a drink in the pub with and, and just have a little chat about something
Mm,
that's nothing.
yeah. Yeah. There needs to be no gap between you and anyone in your organization. There shouldn't be this feeling of hierarchy. They were where you were once. And,
100%.
and so there is no point adopting airs and graces because at the end of the day, we're all human. We're all the same deep
Yeah,
down. Deep
absolutely.
down,
That's why,
we
like,
are.
honestly, that's why I almost struggle with getting these awards in a way because people, it puts you in this kind of like limelight, which I
Mm,
want to create to be that role model for young people. But at the
yeah.
same time, like, I'm just here. I'm just here for the fun of it. I mean, I'm certainly not in engineering for the money. I'm here because I want to change. I want to change the world ultimately. Like that is where the passion and drive comes from. Is I want to make a positive impact. And if that's through getting more women into engineering, or it's through changing the system that allows more women to come into engineering. Because I don't think it's just as easy as saying more girls come into STEM, because actually the reason that they're not in there is exactly the reason that I didn't stay working on construction sites, because they were full of, well, the ones that I had been on, I'm not saying these are all, there was a lot of ego, there was a lot of toxicity, there was a lot of fear and blame and finger pointing. And as a leader, I think the best qualities a woman can have in a space is the softness, is the feminine qualities.
Yeah.
It's, it's sitting there being composed, breathing, calm, soft voice, not shouting. Doesn't win any arguments in my opinion. I don't prescribe to that type of energy in a space.
So let's talk about breath and energy, because you alluded to being a yoga teacher. So are you a yoga teacher within the world of engineering, or is it something outside of engineering?
It's totally outside, although I have taught colleagues before. So in my free time, I teach vinyasa and yin yoga in my community. I also host women's circles on the equinox and solstice. And
I just went to Glastonbury for the very first time.
Oh,
on the
amazing.
Solstice. Never been before. I thought
Super
I'd been.
Cool. Super cool place.
It really was, yeah.
Yeah, and this weekend I'm actually running my first women's only retreat, which I'm super excited about. So
where was
I run
my invitation?
It's up in Scotland, Fayon, I'm afraid. But
I would have travelled. With notice. But I'm doing something. But yeah, that is incredible. So will you only do it in Scotland, or do you think you might move about?
I think I travel enough for work, to be honest. I'm down in London every other week. So for me, the reason I started that is I really wanted to foster community where I lived, and build that community, that almost like that village that we all aspire to have.
Yeah.
And I do feel like I'm really starting to build that now, which is such a lovely feeling. And I just absolutely love it. Will it blend with engineering? I have no idea. We'll see what happens.
I think there are, crossovers and everything. What you're learning on the outside of your working life, you can bring in to your day-to-day. I mean, okay, if you're a snake wrestler or charmer, might not work. But hey, there's skills there.
There's for sure.
There's always crossovers of skills. And so having that balance and being able to want to bring community together, and women are very good at that. We are very good at bringing people in. And so let's talk as we get to the end of our wonderful time together. It's gone really quick. My gosh. You sit on boards, you judge awards and champion regenerative design, all while being really vocal and a great advocate for women in STEM. So when you think about engineering talent in 10 years, what does success look like for you?
Of the future pipeline coming through, is that? Yeah. I think that the skills that will be needed in 10 years will be drastically different to what we have today. I think that we're already seeing that with this kind of AI movement. The skills in these deeply human skills of not just collaboration but co-creation, empathy, judgment, systems thinking, transformative change, behavioral change. All the complex issues that we have in the world right now are not a result of technology or physical barriers. They're all human behavioral. So we need more engineers that can come that have that understanding and abilities to solve complex behavioral changes that are needed. And while technical skills are so important in engineering, I think that we're going to see a real rise of amazing, great communicators that are needed for the profession.
Oh, beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Well, 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 Brogan, that brings us towards the end of our time together. However, before you go, I do like to have a little play, a very quick quiz question. It's multiple
Okay.
choice. Will you play?
Yeah, of course. Go for it.
Excellent. It's easy, she says. Which material has the lowest embodied carbon per ton? Is it concrete, steel, timber, or aluminium?
Timber.
Timber. Okay, that's your first answer. Do you want to lock it in?
Oh, gosh, now you're making me think. Or is it concrete? Gosh.
So now I'm making you think, but
I
before you
know.
just were straight off. So
I know, because I was thinking now per ton. I was, oh. Yeah, lock in.
stick with your gut. Well done. Timber, you're absolutely right. As a bio-based material, it actually stores carbon rather than emitting it during production. So it makes it one of the most sustainable structural materials available. Woo!
Yay! Go timber.
So way for timber. And I didn't even get round to talking to you about your amazing suits. The full on, you're wearing yellow, you're wearing green, you're wearing red, top to toe. I love that. Are you still wearing your power suits?
I wear them less. I've softened into, I think after my yoga teacher training, I'm softening into the flowy dress. It's more
You got all pastel and flowery and floaty now, have you?
a little bit. I do still have the suits. They still come out for speaking occasionally. Yeah.
They're fabulous. They're
Thank
fabulous.
you.
Brogan, thank you so much for your time today. It's been brilliant to have you on the podcast. And yeah, got my eye on you. I'll keep in touch.
Thanks, Fayon.
Thank you. Thank you for listening to the Engineering Talent Podcast, powered by Equal Engineers. Now, if you enjoyed this episode, follow and share it with others who also want to build a safer and more inclusive future for engineering. To learn more about the Equal Engineers Talent Awards, discover more inspiring stories, or explore how Equal Engineers is helping organisations make safety and inclusion inseparable, visit equalengineers.com. I'm Fayon Dixon, and until the next time, keep celebrating talent, keep telling your story, and keep engineering change.